Let us keep marching on till victory is won. I came to introduce Reverend Shanklin, but I didn't introduce myself. I am part of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. I am the local president for the National Federation of Federal Employees. My name is Martisha Banks Booker. And next, I want to introduce the president of the Huntsville, Madison County NAACP, Mr. Jerry Burnet. Mr. Jerry Burnett has retired after 20 years in the aerospace industry. He's been the local president. He's been the political action leader. He's been the third vice president for the state of the NAACP. He served in many capacities, and he too has been on the front lines for labor and civil rights. Let's give a hearty welcome to Mr. Jerry Burnett right now as he comes to speak to us.
Thank you. I particularly want to thank my wife over there. She's my right hand. And I want to thank the women of the NAACP. They're known as the WIN. And they're doing voter registration. Wherever we go, we always do voter registration. So if anyone needs to register to vote, please go by and see our WIN. Thank you. It is rather sad that we should find it necessary to spend this Saturday afternoon discussing race, relation, and police brutality when it comes to law enforcement officers as they engage with people of color in America. What the world has been witnessing for the past 30 days is a reminder of the fact that there is nothing new under the sun. People of color have had to be witness to this type of police misconduct for many, many years. On May 25th, 2020, video cameras captured the images of 4 police officers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, gaining up on one defenseless black man in handcuffs, joyfully choking the life out of him while bystanders watched. This was one sad sight that no one should have had to witness. It appeared that the one officer with his knee on Brother George Floyd's neck was really enjoying himself. Now, our President of the United States came here to Huntsville, Alabama, and referred to African American NFL players who kneel in protest of police brutality as SOBs. Can anyone tell me what he called these police officers who placed his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck and choked him to death? People of color dying at the hands of law enforcement officers go way, way back. We've always seen that as a problem, but we have not been able to fix it alone. It was much of a tragic and unfortunate moment for Mr. Floyd that he had to be choked to death by 4 Minneapolis police officers in the streets over an alleged $20 bill. It took this to prick the conscience of America. Now the whole world sees that there's a problem with police in communities of color and are crying out for justice. Now, before the ink could dry on Mr. Floyd's obituary, while the eyes of the nation are on police departments, America witnessed the death of Mr. Rashid Brooks, another unarmed black man shot to death by an Atlanta police officer for no apparent reason. Mr. Brooks was shot twice in the back, and while he lay there dying, the officer responsible for his death chose to kick and stand on his body. He was killed just one day before his 8-year-old daughter's birthday. And it's been said that she was dressed and waiting for her dad to come pick her up to go out on Congo to celebrate her birthday. Can you imagine the grief that this family will experience for years to come? This unnecessary and unjustifiable killing by law enforcement officers are all too common among communities of color. there have to be some changes made. The type of changes that must be made can only come through our legislative system. This country has tolerated the slaughter among people of color at the hands of white supremacists and law enforcement officers for well over 400 years. The time has come to say that enough is enough. Starting with slavery, where no one thought enough of a black life to keep a record of how many were killed at the hands of white supremacists. The Reconstruction years gave us the 14th Amendment, but it did very little to address issues of equal protection and due process under the law when it was associated with people of color. The time has come for those of us who thirst for social justice to make voting a top priority. We must register and vote in every election. And when we vote, be sure to elect leaders who will hear our plea for social justice and act accordingly. Now, if you're not a voter, your protest in the streets does not mean a thing. Policymakers dance to the music of the voting population. They address issues out of fear of consequence and not of good faith. They respect the power of the vote. They know that if you have the power to vote them into office, you can also have the power to vote them out of office. And a large number of our sisters and brothers have gotten the wrong conception of the powers to be, and it has led them to believe that political power flows from the top down, but that's not so. The power flows from the bottom up. The power to elect our leaders is in your hands and mine. Now here's where we make our mistake. When we fail to use that power at the ballot box, it will leave an opening. And once you leave an opening, the devil can come in. And when the devil come in, but excuse my expression, when the devil come in, you will have hell on hand. Just take a look at that White House. And remember, in 2010, the low voter turnout that allowed the Tea Party to rise to power, their sole purpose was to block Obama's bills. Some of us who should vote have been falling down on the job. When we say that Black Lives Matter, we should vote like Black Lives Matter. Now, just before I come out here today, I took a look at the voter turnout for the Madison County area and nationally. In Madison County, we currently have a total of minority voting at the age population, 75,076. But we only have 58,770 who are registered to vote. Now, during our 2016 election, this is the presidential election, we only had 34,199 minorities to turn out at the polls. For our 2017 special election, where we elected Senator Doug Jones, we only had 25,826 minorities to turn out at the poll. And for our 2018 general election, we only had a total of 34,211 minorities to turn out at the poll. Now, during these last three consecutive elections, we only had 21,309 minorities voters to participate in the last three elections. This is where the trick comes in. You have to vote in every election. Nationally, our presidential election, Mr. Trump won the presidential election with only 984,824 votes. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote with 65,853,514 votes. At the same time, nationally, we had 102,721,399 eligible voters who stayed at home. Stayed at home and allow a president to come in office with 62 million. Mr. Trump won in Wisconsin. He won Wisconsin with 23,000 votes. In the city of Milwaukee alone, we have 93,000 African Americans who did not vote. Mr. Trump won Florida by 113,000 votes. In Miami alone, we had 379,000 African Americans who did not vote. Mr. Trump won Michigan by 11,000 votes. The city of Detroit had 277,000 minorities who did not vote. Mr. Trump won Pennsylvania with 44,000 votes. In the city of Philadelphia, there was 238,000 African Americans who did not vote. Mr. Trump won Georgia with 211,000 votes. The city of Atlanta had 530,000 African Americans who did not vote. So when we raise our hand to say Black Lives Matter, let's go to the polls and vote to prove to the world that Black Lives Matter. And just for the record, to be sarcastic, Mr. President went on a thank you tour to the African American community between December the 11th, 2016 and December the 16th. Mr. Trump made it his business to go to all of those urban cities that had the large population of African Americans who did not vote and thank them for not voting because they helped put him in office. Does Black Lives Matter? Yeah. If Black Lives Matter, let us go to the polls and vote like Black Lives Matter. So whatever we do, at the end of the day, let's put out whatever God you serve. Put our trust in God. And let's put our hope in the vote. And let's take our souls to the polls on election day. Thank you very much.